Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Hi there, I'm Dan Hollowville. Welcome to Stupid O'Clock. As you may have noticed, I'm not Joe Dog. Joe Dog's had a family emergency, a health problem, and he may or may not be with us tonight, but he
Guess you
is.
slid in right at the last minute.
Oh, you're kidding me.
The last seconds. Hey, I warned y'all. I warned everybody in the messenger.
Yeah, well, let's put you in your proper place, like I can put you in your place. And you just go ahead and take over.
That's easy.
Here's Johnny.
Like I said, I'm, clear the roadway. I'm coming in hot with a full load of fuel.
That sounds good right about. Are those cheese crystals?
Cheese crystals.
I've never liked cheese crystals. I like just cheeseless.
Yeah. Of course, I've also, my dad made up a batch of 15 bean soup.
I haven't done that one.
I hear a duck quacking.
Somebody was scrolling. That sounded like a mouse scroll.
Oh.
Yep. There's the duck mouse. Well, believe it or not, the vending company has started putting White Castles in the sandwich machine at work. 2 packs.
for $6.
$4.50. And what do they normally cost if you were to go and get them? About 50-60 cents.
Shit. you ain't been in a Crystal lately, have you?
Not
White Castles lately have been about $1.50.
$1.50.
I can
Okay,
remember
well,
when I got pissed off because McDonald's regular hamburgers went up to 99 cents.
oh Lord, I
And
remember when.
you used to be able to get them for 49, and then it's like literally a week later they were 99 cents, and it's like, which
You used to be able to get two of them for $1, and for a teenager, that's not giving a whole hell of a lot of cash to go out to eat.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I actually am old enough to remember them for 15 cents.
hey, I'm old enough to remember the Friday nights that I'd go out and eat the McDonald's menu.
The food probably would have been healthier.
of course,
No, the
we
menu's
had
probably
better-
healthier.
we had better restaurants when we were younger than kids do today.
Oh, yeah.
Shoney's.
I'll give you an example. Central Park.
Oh, yes. The Central Park burgers. Now, John, you know who owned Central Park, don't you?
Crystal.
Yeah, they were offshoot of Crystal. They were a tax write-off.
And they did a better job.
Yeah, and made more money than Crystal.
Too
It's kind of
bad
funny.
my sister-in-law doesn't
Crystal's
watch
got
this.
that big building downstairs and hasn't been able to do it right in decades. And Central Park was in a 2-story shack. Okay, it looks like something you'd buy at Home Depot to store tools in. But they had a whole kitchen in there making burgers, fries, and shakes. They did have shakes, right?
No. Burger, fry, and Coke.
Burger, fry, and Coke. That's all they had. The whole restaurant. 2
No
drive-in
Coke,
windows, one on either side of the building. It's like the photo mat of hamburgers.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Kids today don't even know what the hell a photo mat is, for that matter.
No.
Or the reason a photomat existed because digital photography.
Here's what's funny. There used to be this photo mat in Red Bank next to the high school. Okay. And it's out in the middle of this parking lot in this shopping center area. I think it's still there.
No, they tore it down
Did they
about
finally tear it down? Okay.
about 2 years ago.
I think the last thing that they were selling cell phone accessories or something like that at the end, toward the end.
Well, it turned into one of those shaved ice shacks,
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I like shaved ice.
and they still couldn't make it work. Oh, Rich, I got to ask you a question. What do you call a poodle that enjoys your misfortunes?
What?
Snickerdoodle. Yeah, I got a chuckle out of Joe. So is that?
I'm just
I'm
going to use
busy
that on the life
kicking
file.
furniture.
I felt that one. That one was palpably painful.
And I would like to thank everyone that gave me birthday wishes today. So,
Yeah, happy
Merry level
birthday.
up day.
Happy birthday.
the good ones and the evil ones.
Well, Carl and Donna are here, so let's guess which one gave the evil.
Actually, they both said happy birthday. Actually.
I have to be nice to Carl for a while.
What did you do?
What hasn't he done?
Carl said something about he couldn't stand to be in the room with somebody with idiots very long. I said, and yet you drive several hours to come hang out with me for a weekend. His response is, I can cancel those reservations. So I
Josh.
have to be nice.
Well, he could just take Donna out to the Waffle House for the entire time.
That's close by.
The way she talks about it, she really enjoys those peanut butter pancakes or peanut butter waffles.
Or waffles, yeah.
Mm.
Waffles with peanut butter chips on top of it.
Hey,
if I go to Waffle House, and I hate to say that, I always get the same thing. Bacon Lovers BLT, a bowl of chili, large bowl of chili, and hash browns with everything on it. Smothered, covered, chunked, dashed, hoped, dreamed.
flamethrowered.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
think my cholesterol just went up about 500 points. Just listening to that.
John, I'm going to make you feel real
And
bad.
I want to try it.
I went in, we were at Waffle House 2 days ago, and I ordered a waffle sandwich. And it confused them.
I bet.
They're like, what kind of waffle? And this is somebody that had worked there for a while. And I said, you've never heard of a waffle sandwich? They go, they've changed the menu. What is your idea of a waffle sandwich? The hot ham and cheese sandwich cooked on the waffle maker. She goes, oh, you want it the old fashioned way. Because they've got a new one that has all sorts of chunked and scattered and between two waffles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. For people that only speak literal.
There was this one thing, I cannot remember which restaurant used to have it, but it was a waffle with maple syrup, bacon, another waffle, and more maple syrup.
Throw a couple of scrambled eggs in there on top of the bacon and slap the other waffle on top.
Yeah,
I could go for that.
That's what they're calling the waffle sandwich now.
I actually, Lindsay and I went out to pick up the jewelry that we had taken to the jeweler to get some repairs done and my wedding ring resized and stuff like that. Since I took the day off, had time, I decided for lunch we were going to go to the taco stand that I used to walk to from the university when I was a college student. It was the original taco stand. Get down there. Every parking space was full. The 8 additional parking spaces that usually would be available were occupied by a delivery truck. I would have had to have stolen a parking space from the next door Dunkin' Donuts. And seeing as how there were 5 police cars already there, I didn't feel like violating the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot to go to the taco stand, even though it's only like a 30-second walk away.
I had an idea a few years back.
Well, the upshot is I didn't get my burrito.
I had an idea a few years back, and Joe will know what I'm talking about. I thought somebody should take a shopping center like Brainerd Village.
Yeah.
Brainerd Village had 2 large stores and then a bunch of small stores wrapped around the place. And over the years, it's basically become nothing but little fast food joints. Which is not bad, but it's always
an outdoor food court.
Sort of, yeah. But my idea is that you make a food center that is nothing but specialty food stores in one place.
The food court shopping center.
A food court shopping center, basically.
That sounds like a wonderful idea, actually. I could see that making some money.
And you bring in a lot of little specialty restaurants, or even better, small versions of larger restaurants. And they all have their little booth, basically, and a little eating area and a park where you can have picnic tables and pavilions and stuff like that. Which, if you know what,
So-
if you know where Brainerd Village is, which me and Joe did, you understand exactly what I'm talking about and why it would be so cool.
Oh yeah, it's almost a three-sided shopping center.
It's a three, yeah, because the one thing that I truly miss from my youth at Brainerd Village,
The movie theater.
no, Kay's Castle.
Yeah.
Kay's Castle ice cream.
Oh, okay. Now I get the appeal.
There is one K's left
Up in Saudi,
up in Saudi. Yeah.
it's not the same. But it's it ain't bad, but it ain't the same.
Yeah.
And I miss the bubblegum ice cream.
Oh yeah, bubblegum ice cream. If you did it right, you could get a full mouthful of bubblegum by the time you got through eating the ice cream.
Yes, things we loved as kids. Yes. See,
Uh,
now, for those of you who don't know, Brainerd Road and the Brainerd Village area used to be where all the really good restaurants in Chattanooga were.
Yep.
Shakey's Pizza, Steak and Ale,
Show.
IHOP, the old fashioned chalet style IHOP,
IHOP. Yeah.
Sailmakers,
Shoney's.
Shoney's,
The old Shoney's.
the old style, with the big
With the big boy.
out
Yeah.
front. Well,
Yeah.
Too bad my sister-in-law doesn't watch this show, because Shoney's has now been mentioned twice. It would just drive her freaking mad. She was down visiting with my son to visit my in-laws, and they saw Shoney's, and she's like, "Oh, let's go to Shoney's." And they get up to the building, and it's closed. And of course, I don't know of any Shoney's
Anywhere.
that are still open anymore anywhere.
no.
Well,
I-
do you
I-
know
I-
what
I've-
survives of Shoney's? Captain D's.
Yeah.
Shakey's Pizza. Remember that one, Joe?
Oh yeah, you could actually see them.
They had
Mike-
They had the glass windows on the pizza kitchen, and a step stool for the kids. Big long, it's about 10 feet long and about 3 feet wide. So all the kids could get up there in the window and watch the guys flip the pizza down.
And then they had the
Player piano.
player pianos and the guys with the
With the bowler hats.
bowler hats, the campaign hats.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to think some of the other restaurants that I know. Our first Red Lobster in Chattanooga was down
out there.
Brainerd
Yeah.
Road.
Oh,
It's
Howard
now-
Johnson's.
Howard Johnson's, Hojo's, yeah. So what else they have down there that was good? We had a Piccadilly and a Morrison's down there.
Oh, wow.
At one time in the same shopping center. Morrison's was on one
they,
end.
were across, they were like it's kind of like Home Depot and Lowe's. It was, right across.
Straw boaters is what those hats were called. Yep. Thank
Yeah.
you, Donna.
Thanks, Don. Now you remember this is more in our age, our high school and just out of high school. People wouldn't cruise up and down Brainerd Road. They would park on Brainerd in the parking lots and watch people cruise up and down Brainerd Road.
And still do to a certain extent. I mean,
Now, I remember how that started. I remember what got it started. I wasn't going to walk and get the damn gas. Me and a friend ran out of gas, coasted into a parking lot, and we were arguing of who's going to walk to the Exxon to get gas. I wasn't going to do it. He said he wasn't going to do it. And while we're sitting on the hood of the car arguing, friends would pull in and stop. More people would start hanging out.
Of course, right there.
And nobody would give you a ride to go get the damn gas.
Nope.
And we have
one, we
golf
wouldn't
course.
admit we ran out of gas.
We have putt golf course. Hooters is there now.
Yeah, Hooters is where Shoney's is. Was.
Yeah, it was a Shoney's. Now it's a Hooters. There's a putt golf course behind it, which is your mini golf.
Sorguni's Golf.
Sorguni.
That is actually the side business of the go-kart tracks that you see all around the country.
Uh-huh.
They actually build them on the other side of the parking lot.
Yeah, there was a putt golf course that they also had the side business of renting out those six-wheeled amphicats. The ones you steer with sticks like a tank.
Yep.
Yeah.
John. And
Lateral steering, Dan, is how that's.
yes. Well, I wasn't sure what the official was.
I
It
miss
looked
laterals.
sticks to me.
They were a pain in the ass, but they were fun. So,
Yeah, and imagine my surprise when I got to use a Bobcat at work, and that's exactly how that thing was built.
It's an amphicat with a shovel.
Basically, it's a little bitty tank with a bulldozer blade.
Let's see, what was now we've got India Mahal restaurant. Is that still there? I haven't been up there.
Yes.
I need to go up there. I need to find some people that like Indian food and go up there. Everyone in my family's like, yeah, it's Indian food.
Hey, nothing wrong with a good curry.
Ankar's Billiards and Ankar's Hoagies. Which it's like the guy that owned the hoagie restaurant started a billiard hall. Figure that one out.
Yes, Blake, we're swimming in
Blake not in
testosterone
here?
tonight.
Blake, why are you not here, Blake?
He has better things to do.
If he can make a comment about facial hair, he needs to get his facial hair in here.
So here's one for you guys. I don't know if you saw this in the news. Apparently about 1 million dimes were stolen out of the back of a semi over in Philadelphia.
1 million dimes.
Yep. Truck driver went and picked up a load from the mint and decided to run home and get some sleep before his long drive. And about 1 million dimes worth $100,000 were stolen.
That may be the ultimate crime.
That's going to be really hard to trace.
Exactly.
The only thing I can think of is Blazing Saddles.
Get me a shitload of dimes.
Yep. Somebody's going to have to go back and get a shitload of dimes.
That's going to be a huge cowboy army.
Now I was thinking more the movie Young Guns. Best
Loaded
dollar,
the shotgun shell with dimes.
best $1.40 I've ever spent.
By the way, that doesn't work too well. Anything past 20 feet, they're all over the damn place.
Really?
Now, under 20 feet, you can slice a human being in half. But yeah.
There's meets the voice of experience. How many times did you go through in the Middle East? Oh, Lord.
It says here they were trying to cross-load the dimes into other things. The dimes are all over the parking lot. There's about $750,000 worth of dimes in the back of this semi.
There was there's a store that they make dice for gaming, and DragonCon was going on in Atlanta, and so this company, they loaded up the back of a pickup truck, just boxes and boxes and boxes of dice to take up to DragonCon and put in the dealer's room at DragonCon. So they're driving up 285 through Atlanta, and of course, Atlanta traffic.
I know it will.
So there's a massive accident, and one of the vehicles involved in this accident was the truck full of dimes or dice. And the back end of the truck opens, boxes come flying out. There are literally like 60,000 dice spilled out onto 285 in and around Atlanta. They did, and it's estimated, they did 2.8 million hit dice worth of damage. That's
Richie, don't take a drink. Roll for initiative.
I was wondering how many of them came up natural ones.
John, you remember when the Budweiser truck turned over at the 75-24 split?
yes.
Usually a truck accident like that, where a truck turns over and cargo spills, it's half a day or more to get it cleaned up. Rednecks came through and it was done in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
People were
I know
taking-
a lot of people that are not familiar with this think that I am telling a joke, right? See here.
I remember when it happened. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
A dicey situation.
216,000 D6.
Blood
Hey, it could have been worse. If it'd been D4s, we'd still not be able to drive on 285.
Oh yeah, I know shit.
They don't.
Call trips everywhere.
Yes, really.
There are dice still being found in the grass off the side of the freeway.
yes, they pop out. Apparently,
They pop out of the lawnmowers.
no. It's kind of funny. They got into the sewer system.
They all float down there.
And there are literally every so often down in the creeks nearby where the storm water drains off, they'll find dice. It's hilarious.
That is awesome.
I can just see a catfish with a D20 right now. 6. You win. I'll bite the hook.
I can just see someone cleaning catfish and go to toss the innards, and all of a sudden you hear the rattling
Failed
of
his
dice.
saving
What the
throw.
hell?
Yeah. It was the final death saving throw.
Oh, and people that don't know anything
hey,
about
my
Dungeons and
catfish
Dragons
took-
don't know what we're talking about.
My catfish just took 1d6 damage. Okay. That's- from a fillet knife.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
We are
I
some
think these guys
silly
are gonna-
people.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
I said, no, good Lord, we are some silly people. Ah,
I'm just wondering what these guys are going to do with all these dimes. Because you know they can't just show up to the bank and be like, oh, I need to cash these in. There's going to be coin stars all around Philadelphia that are all of a sudden filled up with dimes.
You know,
mhm.
the Coinstar machine that is down here at Ingles grocery store here in Ringgold, you can buy Bitcoin.
Yes, that's with all of them now. Because we have that up here too.
Yeah, I don't use Coinstar anymore, especially since they're getting 12.9%.
Hmm.
Apparently, though, if you get gift cards,
You get it all.
You get the value, but
Yeah.
it's a gift card. You know,
Which
makes you-
works if you're at the grocery store and you know you're going to be spending that money anyway on groceries.
Hey,
stole
get an
it.
Amazon.com gift
From
card.
a Walmart parking lot.
Well, think about it. If it's Ingles grocery store, you go to the Coinstar machine, you dump all your coins in there, you get an Ingles gift card.
Hey,
There's groceries. Hey,
Oh,
You can get about 2 dozen eggs for that amount of dimes.
really, $150,000? Yeah, you can get you can get an entire gallon of milk and maybe a loaf of bread too.
Actually, you wouldn't believe how many coins I've got laying around here. Used to, when my mom had foster kids, I never had coins because the foster kids were always, "Can we have some money?" So and I'd take them shopping or whatever, and they'd always want the loose change. So now that there are no foster kids, I've got rolls of change laying around here that I haven't done anything.
I'm going to have to quit carrying cash over to my daughter's house.
Wait a minute, you're grandpa. You're supposed to have quarters. That's like in the rule book. Damn it!
Quarters? No. They
What do they want? E-coin now?
folding money.
Bitcoin? Yeah.
Folding money.
Hey, if it's
They
less
hold
than
out their
20,
smartphone
it's
and go,
sneered
"Hey,
at.
Grandpa, can we have some Bitcoin?" You know, it's
Hey,
Quarter,
John,
old man, cough up the 50s.
this does not contain dice.
it should.
Nope.
Ain't Crown Royal either.
No,
If
it
it
ain't
does, that's
Crown
one
Royal
busted-
either.
That one busted bottle.
Nope. This is basically a lifetime of hoarding random coins that are either foreign currency or something better, $2 bills. Um, oh,
This does contain dice.
this is that is an Eisenhower silver. Is that a silver dollar? Or,
No, Eisenhower's $1.
yeah,
Kennedy's a half.
Eisenhower silver dollar. Where did I get that? How long have I had it? Who knows?
We had a gentleman that used to come into Staples in our copy center, and sweet old man, but he would pay for his copies with $2 bills, dollar coins, whether they were the Sacagawea or the Susan B.
Oh, I used to love giving those to the kids. Big
Oh, yeah.
and
I love that shit.
$50. Now, what's the three things that there is no spot in a register for? $2 bills, dollar coins, $50 coins. So I always made sure when I was working copy center, I had some folding money on me, and if he stopped in, I'd buy out, whatever he used to pay, and then I'd hoard it until I had a cashier that pissed me off. And if the cashier was rude, oh yeah, I can pay for that in cash. Here you go.
You know, it's kind of funny. When we go on vacation, I will always take that change with me, especially the quarters.
Mhm.
And the reason is, if you're staying in hotels have vending machines. Of course, the kids, they don't understand that the hotel's charging too damn much for Coca-Cola. They see the vending machine at the end of the hall. They want to run down the end of the hall and get snacks.
I want a $25 12-ounce can of soda.
What was the? I can't remember. I can't remember if it was Running Man or
Demolition Man.
no, it was either Running Man or the one about Guy Fawkes.
V for Vendetta?
Yes,
for Vendetta.
Vendetta, where they were joking about getting Cokes out of the vending machine, and the lady was like, "Do you have $15 in quarters that I can borrow?" I think it was Running Man because they had the joke about the Cadre Cola.
Well, in that bag, I have all sorts of change that I brought back from England. I have coins from South America that I got from buying comic book collection, and you know the bagged up reprints. they also had, for some reason, they had South American small change in there. Um, Japanese yen, and little paper bills, and a bunch of Canadian quarters and pennies that I would get with small change from stores and things.
Oh,
Hey,
Hi.
Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Hello, how's it going?
all
Good,
right.
man.
Why are you at condition red?
We got cameras running, so everything's red on set because of the exposure.
I thought it had to do with a demonic child behind you.
What you get for going to
I mean,
Texas?
you know.
That's sunburn.
Sometimes. That too.
Zach, what's our odds of Monday?
Good question. Next question.
Monday will happen. Whatever
Yeah,
else.
Monday will come. Monday will go.
The rocket might.
The rocket might come. The rocket might go. We've got everything we need except the flight restriction for Starbase and Hawaii and the launch license, but everything else is issued, and the evacuation notice. But we're expecting that won't drop until Sunday, so because that's normally like a 12-hour notice, 24-hour notice.
Personally, I think Elon Musk owns all the hotels in that area and keep making these announcements just so people like you will show up and get the hotel rooms.
That's why I don't book hotels. Hotels don't have this view.
Really? Where are you at? You're at a house, right? You've got
a mobile home, but yeah.
Now, do you know the people that own the house, or is it just
No, he just showed up and squatted.
Well, I do now. Well, I mean, it's Texas. I mean, you could.
It's Verbo,
it's one of those.
Okay, there you go.
It's one of those Verbo Airbnb type things, but it's in a privatized resort, so it's like a mini lease type thing. So,
yeah, if they don't launch soon, you're going to have to pay property tax.
That is something that I always wondered about when I used to live in Orlando.
Paying property tax?
Well, that too.
Oh.
But I always wondered why Disney and NASA didn't get together and have Disney put a resort hotel at the launch sites for NASA. Just for.
Have you seen NASA?
Have you seen Disney?
Yeah, I mean, there's still only a few hotels that have pad views even now.
Can you imagine if Disney actually if they ran the resort and gave some of the money, say 10, 15% to NASA, we'd be on Jupiter by now.
Okay.
Before I share,
ride a monorail out to the hotel to watch the launch.
Exactly. Exactly. You have a monorail cuts across Florida from Disney World out to the NASA resort. That would be cool as hell.
And it could be high speed because they don't have to make a stop every 15 feet for a new town.
Well, they almost got one with Brightline. Brightline was building their high-speed rail route from Miami and up through Orlando.
Except that they kept hitting cars.
Yeah. But they built the airport one, and it's going off to Tampa. And they had offered Disney to have one at Disney Springs, but apparently that deal's fallen through. So, because there was supposed to be a stop in like Port Canaveral area, which is as close as you're going to get to KSC. So,
before I throw the share screen up, I do have to ask permission.
Go for it.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, that's behind me.
I'm glad have they put more light out there, or
no? That's me cranking the exposure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why is it flashing an SOS?
Yeah, really.
Well, the rocket wants help.
Save our ship. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
save our stocks.
Road closures in. The marine hazard for Starbase and Hawaii is locked in.
Yeah.
And flight restrictions are in Mexico.
Yes. So there's always a flight restriction over Starbase to start with,
Yep.
but not a launch one. So it's only up to I think 10,000 feet always. So, and then Hawaii did exist already for this last week, but it just needs to be updated. So we're expecting that'll get updated tomorrow.
So how close can RGV get?
I think it's 10,000 feet, 11,000 feet.
I mean, in the circle.
Oh, I think it's a mile.
Oh, mile circumference.
It's not a huge thing. Let me grab a picture. One of our team flew home today, unfortunately, but their plane went right over Starbase.
Oh, did they get pictures?
Well, with their cell phone, because no one thought that they would go over Starbase, but they did. Let me see. See if the internet will work.
Why am I imagining your drone going out to play with their drone?
No drones, sadly. Let's see if this will load. Come on, technology. It doesn't want to.
You know, I really cannot believe that Disney does not have a resort out there near Cape Canaveral. And there's Port Canaveral. Isn't that where the Disney ship docks?
Yep. Yeah, there's no Disney hotel other than on Disney properties. There's nothing for the ships. It's bizarre.
Hey, that would make them a ton of money
Yeah, it would.
because people would show up the day early.
Yep. Well, and most of those you have to be able to get into the area. But what they do is they just keep you over on. They keep you over at the resorts, and then they bus you over in the morning.
And to answer my dad's question, I added 5 cheese crystal on top of it. I can feel it cooking.
Let's see if this will. So that was the view from the United flight.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold that still for just a second, Zach.
Here, yeah.
So that's the launch site, and then that was Macy's, the old gun range. That's now a new test facility. But yeah, they went right over the middle of it. So
Oh, cool.
Wow.
See, that's kind of. We have something similar here in the Chattanooga area, and this will blow your mind. We have a nuclear plant just north of Chattanooga, Sequoia Nuclear Plant. All the airplanes that come up out of Atlanta to land in Chattanooga fly over the river right past the nuclear plant to land over the dam to land in Chattanooga. Who the hell thought it was a good idea to let all these airplanes fly around the nuclear plant?
I don't know. Is that the one built on a fault line?
Not that I'm aware of.
Or is it a different nuclear plant in Tennessee that's built on a fault line?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Sequoia.
No,
It's an inactive fault line.
Sequoia's not on a fault line.
Wait till New Madrid cuts loose again.
I believe
We'll see what's inactive and what isn't.
Now that
what was that?
Now that I've got Zach on here,
1 second. They doing fireworks again?
All right. For those of you at home who don't know what we're talking about, Zach runs the Launchpad, which is a rocket fan site. Okay. For people that like rocket launchers, real rockets, not fake ones.
he's actually Rocket News,
Yes.
certified Rocket News now.
Ain't it cool? And he is actually down in Texas at the Starbase, which is down near Brownsville. And they're getting ready to launch the Starship rocket, which will be the biggest, most powerful rocket ever to lift off of Earth.
Allegedly getting ready to launch.
Theoretically. And much hyped getting ready to launch. Yes. So.
Sorry, there's weird banging, and I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Mexico.
Probably.
What, Rich?
So basically, when Zach is there, he's at Brownsville Station.
He's close to it.
Probably
No,
driving.
Zach, I got to thinking about something.
Oh no.
Oh, this is never a good sign.
What if Massey's becomes the catching site?
No.
That
Please,
didn't
no.
take long.
Is that a please no or dang you no?
No, that's just they wouldn't build a tower there. No, I don't think it has the infrastructure, the ground to. With this, what they've been building lately, it looks like what they're trying to do with Macy's is turn it into where they can do all of their pressure testing and early statics, and then move it out to the orbital.
Oh, so they'll start doing static fires at Massey.
Yeah. So what we've seen them been doing at the suborbital tank farm, the thoughts is that'll move to Macy's, and then the orbital tank farm and tower and pad will be able to be active for that type of testing. That way they can do both at the same time.
Oh.
That's the current thought. But I mean, it's a long way between the two. You can just barely see the starship that's at Massey's when you're standing at the orbital pad. It's
So to static, if they're going to do static fires, if they static fire a booster, they're going to have to put it way up on a stand.
yes and no. If it's just one Raptor, it'd be no different than Starship. They're not going to static all 33 there, but if it's more just like a pressure test type of thing, they'll do that early. Booster, it probably won't fire there, but the ships will, because the ships are going to have to prove other engines more than the booster, because they want to do 3 to 5 ships per booster. So they'll have a lot more ships to test long run. But I mean, that's if this place stays active in the next couple of years and not everything moves to KSC.
Yeah, they're the boosters are going to have to be reliable. Okay. Starships, yes, but
Yes, asterisk.
yeah, that's be nice if they could get them all because Falcon 9. When Falcon 9 first came out, I remember nobody really thought that was going to work.
No.
And it is now the go-to for putting stuff into space.
Well, no one thought it would be coming down to like 19-day turnarounds for refurbishment. And Elon's in the last few weeks been saying he wants them to try to pick one up, roll it to the pad, throw a cargo on it, put it on the pad, fuel, and just see what happens. See if they don't have to, which is what they want to do with boosters here. So I think he's wanting to test what that would work like with Falcon prior to doing it here.
And Zach, don't laugh when I say this. Okay.
Sorry, what's
when SpaceX said they were going to build a space capsule to help out NASA, okay, and then Boeing said, "Oh, we're going to build Starliner." Yeah, everyone said, "Yeah, well, there went SpaceX. SpaceX, once Boeing gets involved, SpaceX will never amount to anything." And
Joe, do you want to pull up the stream?
Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. I got to get it back up.
We've got fireworks at Starbase.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
that might explain all the floodlights we saw earlier. They may be having a party and didn't invite you, Zach.
It looks like it's from the Mexico side.
They're just trying to drive away demons.
The left of the yeah. I'm adjusting the stream. Yeah, that's right. That would be in line with the border. See if that picks it up on stream or not. It might not be bright enough. It's really eerie when you hear bangs coming
really no
behind
good.
you, and there is like 3 million liters of propellant behind you.
I just looked it up on the internet. There are. Oh wait, is it Good Friday?
No, that was last week.
That was last week.
There are no Mexican holidays that I see coming up.
Maybe some people made it across the border.
Border Patrol shooting flares at them. I don't know.
And where is the production facility? That's to the right, right?
Yeah, it would be to the right of the big screen. Yeah, by almost 2 miles.
You can tell by the shock tower.
Now, when I'm watching this, I'm actually seeing a pulse of light, like a shock wave. Can you see? Is that just an effect from the video, or are you actually seeing that? Sort of like a shock wave of an explosion.
That's just effects from
just the effects from the camera, I believe.
Okay.
Now,
if this were a computer, we'd call that graphic artifacts.
Yeah. When it's really foggy, yes, you see it.
Oh, you see like the shock wave?
Yeah. But it's not very foggy tonight, so.
Oh.
So what about that kind of faintish orange glow?
That's the work area. Those are
they've got orange. They've got orange lights on the tank farm.
Okay.
No idea why, but
because those lights are typically orange.
Oh, okay. It would be nice if they were white. It's very dark and people almost get run over.
I'm trying to remember the term for those lights that are
sodium.
Sodium lights. The ones that give off
this camera. 1 second.
Sodium vapor, I think, is what they call it.
Correct. Sodium vapor lights.
Absolutely wipes the stars off the sky.
And why they're not? You think Elon Musk and his people would go to LEDs? I'm just saying.
LEDs aren't bright enough.
Sure they are.
Well, in car headlights maybe, but
spotlight. Have you ever seen those little 1-inch thick light bars they put on 4x4s nowadays?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them sitting over here.
There you go.
That should definitely get those in frame now if they're going to pick up. So.
Okay.
We'll see. It's weird when you just hear a random, and it's interesting because we'll see it, and it's about 15, 20 seconds till we hear it. So, because of the delays, those are definitely about 6 miles away.
Yeah, Ryan Permission has popped
Hey, Ryan.
in. Hey, Ryan. We've got Zach from the YouTube channel, The Launchpad, jumping in with us, and this is his camera view of the SpaceX launch facility down in Texas.
Oh, that's cool. It's very nice. Didn't expect to see that walking in the door. Then again, it's been forever since I've been here. But howdy ho, good neighbors.
Howdy
Good to
ho.
see you. It's been forever. It's good to see everybody. Good to see you.
Ryan, thank you for the birthday wishes, by the way.
Yeah. Congratulations on being 21 again, brother. Woo!
It's the 45th anniversary of my 21st birthday.
That is great. I am so proud of you, young man. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Oh wait, I don't know about that last part, but.
Hey, so you relocated, and I don't think we've actually talked with you.
This is the first time you guys are seeing me in my brand new studio, coming to you live from the great state of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Woot!
Oh, you ain't far from us now.
Yeah,
you're practically in my backyard.
Yeah, really. You're like a neighbor now. That's
really cool. You guys are like what, 15, 20 minutes away from me now? I can just drive up and say hi, maybe grab some
coffee? No, that's more like
about
3 or 4 hours.
Oh,
it's about 65 minutes for me.
Oh, okay. All right. That's not bad. I can make an hour, 5 minutes work. That's not bad. I can make that work, Danny boy. Good to see everybody. But yes, I'm in Greensboro. I've relocated. But here's the crazy thing, gentlemen. I don't know if you guys want to hear my update since I just walked in the door. I don't want to step on anyone's toes, am I?
No.
Okay, so quick life update for those of you who may be wondering. Hi, my name's Ryan. I'm a host and producer of the greatest YouTube channel in the land, at Nerd Culture Channel. Thank you very much. Hashtag no ego here, no ego. Yeah. But there isn't anyway. But I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina. Unfortunately, here's what's going on. I relocated for this new job, and unfortunately, the new job didn't work out as well as I had hoped. So now I am unemployed. I am back at square one. I am hitting the pavement, applying to as many jobs as I possibly can to get myself back on the horse. I applied to some jobs this week. I'm going to apply to another one tomorrow. I'm going to apply to another one over the weekend. Probably. I got to figure some things out with it first. But even though I am currently without employment, I have not lost my spirit of doing podcasting, because podcasting gives me hope. Podcasting gives me positivity. And the other good thing about living in North Carolina is there is no shortage of McKay's bookstore, because there's one in Greensboro and there's another one in Winston-Salem. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching, if you have never been to the great state of North Carolina, you've got to get your behinds down here. Go to McKay's bookstore, because I am telling you, they have every possible thing your nerdy heart could desire. They have vinyl, they have CDs, they have cassette tapes, they have Blu-rays, they have 4Ks, they have DVD, they have books upon books upon books upon books upon books, and I have bought over a dozen Star Wars novels in the last 3 days straight, and I have no regrets, because I have not read a single Star Wars novel, even though I've been a fan of the wars since I was a wee little kid. But now that Mandalorian has been blown up the interwebs for the last 3 years, and God bless that show, Mandalorian has been kicking it this season, I was inspired. And I went on a lovely magical place called youtube.com, and I watched some videos that said Star Wars books for beginners. And I thought, let's give that a shot, shall we? So they tossed out some titles to me, such as Heir to the Empire, featuring Admiral Thrawn. They tossed out Kenobi by John Jackson Miller, Catalyst by James Luceno, X-Wing Rogue Squadron by Michael, I think it's Stackpole, if I remember correctly. Yeah. There's The Truce at Picard. A plethora of books. So I just went to town, found a bunch of them at your friendly neighborhood McKay's, including Bloodline by Claudia Gray. And I look forward to diving into these books, because I love Mandalorian. I love Star Wars. I'm excited to see where some of these other projects that they are currently constructing go. And yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've basically been podcasting, hitting the pavement, looking for jobs. I'm being productive, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not just wishing that a magic wand would wave its magic upon me and get me a gig. What is that, Carl? Carl says, Ryan, sorry about your job. It sounds like you need to talk to that bookstore. Hey, listen, Carl, I did apply to McKay's bookstore in Greensboro, okay? So there's one 5 minutes from my place. So I have applied to that. I'm hoping they give me a holla and give me a call, because I love McKay's. I love it. And Dan and Rich and Joe Dog and Joe and Zach, all of you would love McKay's.
We have a McKay's bookstore here in Chattanooga.
Oh, that's right.
We have one of the early McKay's.
Yes, they actually moved it, which the new place is in a big warehouse.
Did they move it?
It's okay. It's not as good as the original.
Oh, what was the name of the big bookstore in Atlanta that I used to go to?
What is your background?
My background?
What kind of job were you looking for that you didn't get?
Oh, the one I was originally moving down here for? Is that what you're getting at? Okay, so real quick backstory. I don't want to, like I said, I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes here or take up too much airtime. But so I applied for a job with a company that sells Funko Pops on an app called Whatnot, which is an auctioning app. That's what it is.
Wow.
And I got the gig because they wanted me to be their streamer. I would be behind the camera or in front of the camera selling these Funko Pops, which I have no problem doing because I have some Funko Pops over here on my shelf, so I know a thing or two because I own a thing or two. But unfortunately, we got down there and we realized that this job was going to be a bit more difficult than I originally anticipated. So, and I'm not going to burn any bridges here because none of us knew what we were getting into when we signed on to this. I think me, the employers, and everybody else, we were just trying to get things going, but we didn't fully understand what was going to go into this. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going to burn any bridges, but I will say that I was let go through an email. Wasn't happy about that, but it happened, but I didn't burn any bridges. And they explained to me why they did it. Then I applied for a job with the company that owned the warehouse that we were doing these streams in. And it's down in, like I said, a different part of North Carolina, not in Greensboro, but outside of that. And I auditioned. I did some live streams for them. I thought I did a good job with what I was given, despite our technical difficulties, because technology doesn't always like to cooperate with us when we're using cameras and other spec equipment. So I did the audition. I did well. It didn't work out. They said, "Look, I think you're a great salesperson. I think you have great skills, but since we are a startup and everything is changing and such an influx, we don't want to put too much pressure on you. We don't want you to be stressed out because we know that you prefer to have what is known as a more stable kind of schedule. You just want to have a routine kind of thing. So they said, it's not the right time for us and it's not the right time for you. So that was it. And now but I'll tell you what, though, most people would crawl into a corner and cry and be upset and angry and throw their fists into the wind. But I actually went ahead and applied for a job the day I found out I wasn't getting it. So I've been hitting the pavement. I've been productive pretty much every day this last week. The events have occurred within the last week, just to catch everyone up. So within the last 6 days, I've been hitting the pavement. And I'm going to continue to hit the pavement. I'm going to continue to keep going because even though I was brought here for one job that I didn't end up working out, no offense to anybody, but it just didn't work out. I do not want to leave North Carolina because I love it down here. I think Greensboro is a fabulous area. And the fact that we not have not one, but two McKay's bookstores within a 30-mile radius. And the woman at the desk said to me, you need to go visit the one in Winston-Salem because it's the biggest one of the bunch. And I thought, you know what? I have time. I have resources. I can do this. So I drove over there the other day, ended up finding 3 more books. I bought some Blu-rays or DVDs that I didn't expect to find, including Life Season 2, which was a short-lived crime drama on NBC with Damian Lewis. I found... What else did I find when I was there? Bottom line is, it was fun. It was enjoyable. I do not want to leave North Carolina. I was brought here for a reason. I was brought here for a purpose, whatever it is. We thought it was one thing. Now it's not. That's fine. But no matter what, I'm going to keep going until I can't go anymore because I like it down here. I want to do something with my life. I want to accomplish something, and I am going to do it. It's just that in the meantime, I'm doing these lovely things known as podcasts because podcasts are fun. And I like hanging out with these guys, and I like hanging out with other people every weekend because I get to meet new and exciting people each and every single week of my life, and that is a gift. That is a gift, and I appreciate those gifts. I had Adina Minona, who is a STEM engineer. She's also a best-selling sci-fi writer, who we talked about the latest episode of Mandalorian, which was fantastic. And we talked about that. We talked about her love of Star Trek because she is obsessed with Star Trek, which is fine. There's no harm, no foul, because you can like both. Okay, I grew up on the wars, not the Trek, but I like both for different reasons. So we talked about that and yada yada yada. So to sum all this up, because I don't want to step on anyone else's toes here, it's been rough the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm carrying on as best I can. I have a supportive family back home up in Maryland. Bless their souls. I love them. I appreciate every single thing they're doing for me. They said, if you ever need anything, to give us a holla, which is great. But in the meantime, and this is another thing, this is something I love about doing these shows. My friend who was on the show tonight, Adina, said to me, what are you good at? And I said, I'm good at X, Y, Z. And she says, well, I know this. I work for a company that's always hiring. So check this out. And I said, okay. So she sent me a link to a specific position with a specific set of skills. And I took a chance to look at it before I jumped in on this wonderful stage that you put together for us. By the way, I love what you've done with the studio. And I love it. And I thought, you know what? This is okay. All right. This is familiar to me, but at the same time, it's different. But there's nothing wrong with different. It's just a matter of getting your resume tailored to that specific position, getting yourself the right cover letter, and yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to apply for a few more jobs later this week or this weekend or maybe even early next week and see what happens. But in the meantime, I'm just happy to be alive, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to dive into reading these books. That's going to take me forever to read because every Star Wars novel has to be 300 plus pages, Dan. I'm not kidding. They're like 350, 400. And I'm like, can you shorten these, please? But that's not how the world works.
No. Ron Goulart did not write Star Wars books. So
no, but
you don't get any 60-page ones. No,
you don't. You certainly do not, especially with the galaxy far, far away with all these different stories featuring different characters.
Not unless they come with crayons.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't have one with crowns, though. But I'm happy to be
there's
here.
A collector's item for you.
Yeah, but I'm happy to be here. It's good to see you fine gentlemen. I know it's been forever since I've set foot in this studio, but things have changed a lot around here. I moved.
Ryan, are you having any problem with the local accent?
Do you mean am I having trouble with listening or talking to people who have the North Carolina accent?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I like it. Doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I'm understanding it if that's what you mean. I can understand it.
No. Yeah. Sometimes people move into the areas.
He's in the big city in North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm in Greensboro, so I'm not like in
It's right
what's
next
the
to
big one? Like
Winston-Salem and
Raleigh,
the
Durham,
college
something like
town and
that.
everything.
Oh, you have to speak NASCAR to get along in Raleigh, Durham.
That's true. That's true because I drove through there and I was like, "There's a lot of." I
You're
see a
lucky
few
to be
NASCAR signs
alive.
around here, so
The
I drove through
people
Raleigh one time.
the people that live there in Raleigh, Durham, actually think they are incipient NASCAR drivers, and you get on the road with them, and they don't mind bumping your car as they pass.
Well, I have not been victim to that, so I'm doing okay. Otherwise, I mean, I've traveled to Raleigh, I've traveled to Winston-Salem the other day to go to McKay's, John, and I want to live there because they
You
have
want to live
everything
in
under the
McKay's bookstore, is what you're
dude. They have everything under the sun, and I love every minute of it. It is beautiful. And a friend of mine came to me earlier today, and they were like, "I haven't been in the one in Winston-Salem." I'm like, "Well, you got to get on it then, because it is like heaven." Hey, is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. Sorry, that's a Field of Dreams reference, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. But I'm just happy to be here, and it's great to see you guys. I hope everything is well for every single one of you. I know some of you guys have been struggling recently, and my heart goes out to you. But I mean, hey, I'm struggling now too. But hey, all you gotta do is just keep getting back on the horse and keep trying, because the valiant people are the ones who are succeed. It's the ones who keep going that succeed.
Now, I'm gonna show off my mind reading skills here.
Go ahead.
Joe was asking you about, what kind of work you do.
Oh,
and
yes.
I know why. Because Chattanooga has become a hub for all of these computer companies in Atlanta. Okay. Atlanta, the price for living in Atlanta is ridiculously high.
Ooh.
So what they've started doing is they've started sending a bunch of workers up here to Chattanooga, where the prices aren't so bad, and having
It's
them
still ridiculous, but not as high.
Yeah. And having them work remotely from Chattanooga. So everything in downtown Chattanooga now is basically set up to accommodate these remote workers from Atlanta. We're like a hub of Atlanta now.
With 10 gig network.
With a 10 gig internet, fiber optic internet network, which is why Chattanooga is so attractive to these remote workers. And give you an example. There used to be a hotel owned by the Holiday Inn called the Chattanooga Choo. They own the Chattanooga Choo Choo Railway Station.
Interesting.
They have basically tore the place up to put in apartments.
Ooh. Okay.
Hundreds.
It's no longer a hotel. It's an apartment complex.
It's an apartment complex now, just for remote
about a square mile of apartment complex, isn't it?
Square mile?
He ain't kidding. It's huge. They've put in 5-story buildings, Joe?
Is it 5?
Yeah.
5-story buildings of nothing but small apartments, efficiency apartments.
Really?
Yes. And they're only I think they're only 10 blocks from the electric power board who runs the fiber optic internet network for Chattanooga.
Interesting.
And the whole place is nothing but internet geeks doing their job.
I resemble that remark.
I was going to say, Dan is like, hold on a minute.
John, you were wrong on reading my mind.
Oh,
I know somebody that's got an internet business that does a lot of podcasting and broadcasting.
Oh, well, that's to answer your question that I avoided like the plague 20 minutes ago, my background is in broadcasting because I went to a trade school back in 2007. So
okay.
I do have a background in broadcasting. I do have a background in, I don't know, I just like public speaking. So basically, if someone wanted me to like speak for them or sell something, I can pretty much do it because I'm good at podcasting. I'm good at producing. I'm good at putting together social media ads through Canva and things like that. So, and I like meeting new people every day anyway. So if you give me a chance to speak in front of a room full of people, it doesn't bother me because meeting fresh new faces every day is great. And if it involves something where it's podcasting and broadcasting, dude, I was made for that. So, if you're trying to pull a what's his name, Marlon Brando, you're gonna make me an offer you can't refuse. Like, just send me the link and I'll look at it.
I very possibly will.
Okay, fair enough.
they're actually watching the show right now. So
Hey, good to see you, fellas, watching on the other end of the screen. Sorry.
And if they like what you got, I'll have them send me the connection
Our
information.
people will hook up with your people.
I was gonna say, I do have my own YouTube channel that you can look at, and I have my own link tree.
Now, Ryan, I do have bad news for you.
Which is?
One of their job requirements is you do actually have to breathe occasionally.
That's true. That's very true. I know I've been talking a million miles a minute here, and I apologize, but I can't help it.
Hey, that's just their personality.
It is my personality, and that's one of the things that they liked about me at the other job.
I mean, we're used to it.
How good are you at graphics?
I mean, I use Canva to make my stuff for my YouTube channel and my, what do you call them, like social media flyers that you see on the interwebs. So I'm okay with Canva if it's graphic design like that.
All right.
I mean, I use Canva primarily, but, I haven't used like the other stuff. Like, what's the other stuff called? Like Photoshop and things like that. I haven't used that, but I do use Canva, which is free. I mean, there's a paid version, but I use the free version because it's just easier for me that way. But yeah, I'm good at it to a point. I'm not an expert in graphic design, but I'm good at it. I'm all right at it. Like, I'm not the biggest fish in the sea, but I can hold my own.
Well, you do better than I do because I use gradients for most of my background.
Oh, do you? All right, Joe, no problem.
That's an in joke. That's an in joke.
I say that just in case Mr. Tockert is watching because I'm pretty sure I just felt him cringe.
Oh, right, Nick Tockert. Yeah.
How are you at setting up cameras?
I mean, hey, Michaela J, great to see you, young lady. I hope everything is well in your neck of the woods. I know you've been going through some struggles recently, but my heart goes out to you. I still play your ad on my show on And I Quote pretty much every weekend, or as many chances as I get, because your books, are promoted as much as anyone else's, and they should be too. So hey, Michaela Jade, follow her online, why don't you? But as far as setting up cameras, Joe, I am okay, I guess. I mean, I took film courses in college, so my Bachelor of Science degree is in fact in electronic video and film. I am not an expert videographer by any stretch, and I don't have too much experience with cameras. I just use the ones that are pre-installed or already installed on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
So, and yes, you're welcome, by the way, Michaela. And I wish you the best, Michaela. And I'm interviewing my Adina this weekend, so more than likely I will play your promo at the end of the broadcast. So feel free to tune in, by the way. That's on Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time.
Michaela's been doing great guns with the Kindle. Is it Vela?
Vela?
Kindle Vela.
No, Kindle Vela. So it's basically you get 2 or 3 free chapters of something, and then you pay to read the following chapters until it's all finished. And after a period of time, she can take that down and turn it into a book.
Oh, I was
and put it up there with her other books, which are fantastic. Let me say,
that's wonderful.
Was not my cup of tea, but I enjoyed the ones that I have read immensely. I will always promote Michaela, really, and among other people.
That sounds cool. Good for you, Michaela. That's pretty cool. I wish you the best of luck with all of that moving forward.
And you can find her links and more at ndcd.org.
There you go.
There you go. Another one.
It's one big happy family around here.
Michaela Jade. We should write a song for that.
Started off as Rising Tide and then turned into, hey, let's just help each other out.
Michaela Jade in the building. Sorry, I got all kinds of things on my mind. Let's see. Michaela chimes in. She says the first 3 chapters are small, but they're free, and then the rest are up for a fee. But the fee is based on the word count. Okay, gotcha. Understood. I was not aware of this whole Kindle Vela situation that's going on the interweb.
It's brand new, actually.
Oh, it is brand new.
She's one of the pioneers.
They give you 1/100 of a penny for every word.
1/100 of a penny. That's right. I wasn't too good at math as a child. Math and I never got along as children, and we never really got along as adults. That's why I have this lovely thing called a calculator on my kitchen counter whenever I have to put some numbers together, Dan. That's what I do. That's
Don't
just
worry
me.
about it. I'm dyslexic, and what do I do for a living? I write Excel spreadsheets and do algebra.
Yeah.
I thought you tested like insulation or something like that.
Really?
I do. But I have to write the Excel spreadsheet so that the people that read the test results can understand my. They can't read my handwriting, so I've got to put it in a format that is um,
User
executive
friendly.
friendly. No, user friendly is a whole nother level. Executive friendly is I've got to pare down all the information to just the exciting parts that can wind up in a PowerPoint presentation. So,
I know the feeling.
I'm surprised it's and I apologize. Like I said, it's been forever since I've stepped foot in this studio. Doesn't Chris Walker normally chime in on these things?
Chris is
Working late.
usually driving by the time we're doing the show.
Okay.
And doesn't get home until we're just about ready to go to the
He may
next.
show up at the tail end, in the
Tail end.
next 20
Okay.
minutes or so.
Because he's been liking a lot of my posts lately, especially the ones where I post all the hauls I've gotten from McKay's bookstore. If you guys haven't seen the stuff I've gotten, it's on my Facebook page. It's been a lot of fun to see people interact, and I mean, granted, mostly it's just been likes, nothing too specific. But people did say to me regarding a TV series that I got season 1 of Sequest DSV with Roy Scheider. They said, "Hey." One person said to me, and this is a good friend of mine, his name's Philip Miller. Philip says to me, season 1 started out great, but then when they got to the aliens plot in seasons 2 and 3, it went downhill. And I'm like, well, I guess it's a good thing I didn't get season 2 at McKay's the other day then, because that's when the show went off the rails, according to Philip. So I got
take that with a grain of salt.
Okay,
Different shows go off the rails at different points for different viewers.
Well, that's true.
You might actually get into it.
They did have season 2 at the McKay's in Winston-Salem, and it was there. And John, the next time I'm over there, if it's still sitting there, I will go and grab it. I do have season 1 though, so at least I have the origin story. I can go to the beginning and see how it goes in the first season. So that's good. I found Sequest DSV. I found, gosh almighty, I found Life season 2. This is a great set of films I was so happy that I found. It's called Film Noir 10 Movie Spotlight Collection.
Ooh.
I'm a big fan of film noir. Okay, so the fact that this set is out from Universal Pictures and it has 10 movies that were co-produced, I think they were produced or distributed by Paramount. I watched The Glass Key.
Dashiell Hammett.
Thank you. This Gun for Hire.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've already seen one. This film is on the set, but I've already seen it previously, but it was involved in this particular set. Double Indemnity.
Yes.
Which is good. But I watched This Gun for Hire and The Glass Key, Dan, and let me tell you, I can't remember her name. What is it? Vanessa Shaw, whatever. What? The blonde hair, the love interest. She was phenomenal. I can't remember her name, but it was Veronica something or whatever it was. Why is her name escaping me? It kills me. But when she shows up in these 2 movies, it's her and Alan Ladd as the leads in these movies.
Yes.
She is beautiful beyond comparison. And I'm thinking to myself,
Veronica Lake.
Thank you. Veronica Lake is drop dead gorgeous. And I'm like, and she's in a lot of the movies that are involved in this set. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to enjoy watching her in these movies. Yeah. Because she is beautiful to look at, but she's a great actress as well. And those are wonderful things for an individual to have. So I bought this set of films, and it's very hard to find. You know, on Amazon, it goes for $43 on DVD, Dan. I'm not kidding you. I got this for $6 at McKay's.
That's a good bargain price there.
So
and
Ryan,
I feel the same way about Myrna Loy in the Thin Man movies and several other things that she's done. Be still my beating heart.
if you want to try,
I interrupted Rich. I'm sorry.
If you want to try DSV season 2 before you actually go out and drop the money on the season, if you have the ability to stream from Peacock, they've got seasons 1 and 2 on Peacock.
Okay.
So you can stream it for free, so you can try before you buy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't have Peacock, and I would have to get in touch with a friend of mine, but I don't have Peacock. The only 3 I have access to are the Netflixes, the Disney Plus, because Mandalorian is great, and what's the third one? Netflix, Disney Plus. What was the other one? Oh, HBO Max. That's right. HBO Max has got some really classic films too, like Key Largo and all the Bogey and the Lauren Bacall movies. Like,
You mean
Do they
Max?
have Casablanca?
yes, they have Casablanca. They have the Maltese Falcon, which is one of the great. Casablanca is one of the greatest of all time, but the Maltese Falcon with Bogey is fantastic. Love the Maltese Falcon.
That's another Dashiell Hammett novel.
His name keeps coming up. I love that.
Right. So you've not seen this season of Picard yet?
I haven't seen anything of Picard.
Oh,
I have season 1 on DVD, but I've not seen it. And the other thing is, and this is the crazy thing about McKay's here, John, I found Star Trek Next Generation season 2 on Blu-ray because I had season 1. Now I have season 2, so now I can go back and watch the first 2 seasons of TNG and watch Picard season 1.
Anybody that has ever been stationed in Iraq can tell you about Haji movies. And these are basically, they're sort of like pirated movies, but they put them together professionally. It's like they don't have the rights and stuff like you would have in the United States. They have like a reduced rights to produce this stuff in the Middle East.
Bollywood.
Well, something like that.
Well, yeah, that's India, but
yeah. Give an example. I've got 2 different Clint Eastwood collections. One of his westerns, one of his other movies like Dirty Harry and
that's a good one.
Play Misty for Me and stuff like that.
I've seen that.
But one of the Haji movie collections I got was Earth 2 with Clancy Brown.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And Rebecca Gayheart.
And
wow. Clancy Brown's a great actor.
Yes, he is.
But then again, he's always been a great actor. I mean, that's going all the way back to Highlander.
Right. And Tim Curry is in Earth 2. He played one of the villains in Earth.
Well, Tim Curry is an expert at playing villains.
Anything with Tim Curry in it already gets bumped up several notches.
But does that include...
The man does not know how to give a bad performance.
I was going to say, does that
voice
include...
acting or live acting?
Okay. Does that include the movie Clue for you, Dan?
Yes, it does.
Clue is a classic.
Wadsworth,
do not besmirch Clue.
Wadsworth is the best in that movie. He is so... I'm not shouting. All right, I am.
And here's a good trivia thing for you. If you ever go to like a sci-fi or a film convention or something like that.
Yes.
Challenge people to find a better actor for that Wadsworth character than Tim Curry. Who do you think could have done a better job than Tim Curry? That they'll be lost.
Really?
Because I was his butler. My wife, God rest her soul, we found out they were socialists. It's like, dude, it's so crazy and random, but it's so good. Like, someone actually put together a clip called "Every Time Wadsworth is on Camera," just in Clue, and I'm like, I can watch that 5-10 minute clip and be satisfied and not watch the other 90 minutes of that movie, guaranteed.
Carl Zach is dealing with some phone calls of some breaking news.
There was a thing.
Yes, because apparently they are like solidifying when this launch will take place.
Yeah.
We might see it Monday.
Solidifying like Jello in a ice chest.
Well, you got to remember,
not a freezer, but an ice chest.
You got to remember half of what this launch is based on is government regulations.
Oh, well.
And because they're right on the Mexican border, it's not just United States government regulations. They got to deal with Mexico too.
And they got to deal with PETA.
Ooh, okay.
And the FAA.
People eating hasty animals?
And
this is
the ones.
This is more complicated than I thought.
Yeah, PETA has said if the FAA gives them launch permission, that they're filing an injunction.
Really?
And
because the launch facility is right next to an animal or a bird sanctuary.
That's a problem. That's a bit of a problem.
They're looking at launch time of 7:55 a.m. on a Monday. The license may come down about 3 a.m. on Monday.
So they'll be sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning waiting for permission to do this launch.
Boy, that's It's very complicated.
And
With any luck, the high up muckety mugs of PETA will go and chain themselves to the rocket, and we'll be able to bye
You know,
as they go up.
no, the plan is that they're going to try to get the launch license,
mhm.
permission to launch at launch time, 5 minutes before any federal courthouse opens up.
Okay.
So the
That's-
injunctions won't be able to be filed until after.
Hey, you
Boom
can't
time.
launch that rocket.
We don't want you.
You know, it's funny because I've been gone so long that John has fully grown out his man beard here.
Thank
So,
you.
I guess
I
you're
mean,
going
almost
for, you're going for the
point
early December Santa Claus look.
I'm thinking about it. Yes.
Okay. Just out of curiosity though, and this is outside the whole launch. This is just a random question, but I've
You
noticed.
should have seen me last week. I was competing
Was it?
with Uncle Carl.
Oh, was it? Okay. I'm sorry I missed that. Like I said, a lot of things have been happening around here, so I'm trying to get myself back above water. But I am curious though, and there's no right or wrong way to answer this question. I'm just curious to hear other people's thoughts because I've watched some videos on this over the last few days, recommending books for beginners who are trying to dive more so into Star Wars, whether it's from the former canon or the new stuff that is canon. You know, because Disney has read stuff. I'm just curious. Does anyone have a favorite book from Star Wars that they would recommend to somebody?
One that's been disavowed.
It could be any of it. It doesn't matter if it's old canon, new canon. I don't care. I'm just
I
curious.
think me and Dan are thinking about the same book.
Splinter in the Mind's Eye
Eye
was
by
a
Timothy Zahn.
fantastic book.
Splinter in the Mind's Eye.
It was
It's
the
by
first-
Alan Dean Foster. It was
Hmm.
originally slated to be the sequel to the original movie.
Yes,
Oh.
they were actually planning on, and if you read into it, you can see where the Ewoks came
Mhm.
from, and some other thing. It's basically
Yeah,
everything
other
that
plot
was in
points that came up later. Yeah,
everything that was in Empire Strikes Back is in that book. Basically.
Splinter of the
But
Mind's Eye.
Splinter in the Mind's Eye,
Splinter in the Mind's Eye.
and it goes on to
and you can't lose. I mean, Alan Dean Foster's a fantastic writer.
Okay. I'll take your
I
word
mean,
for it.
Seriously, even though it's not canon anymore,
Because it's a legend.
and as soon as they started making a second Star Wars movie after the original 1977, it was no longer canon.
Mm.
But still, I mean, the man can
can
write.
see where-
If you see his name on a book cover,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. For me, it's an automatic buy.
you can see where they got the idea. You can see where the ideas were formulated for Empire Strikes Back
Okay.
from Splinter in the Mind.
That name. I mean, I've heard the name like a long time ago. Splinter in the Mind's Eye. I just
It
been a
was
long time since I've heard
it was the first
Okay.
Star Wars novelization.
Past the original
Yeah,
movie
past
The
novel.
original
And
1970.
actually,
Okay, I got it.
Ellen Dean Foster wrote the original novelization for what became A New Hope, back
Yeah.
when it was only going to be one
Yep.
movie ever.
Right. By the way, Chris, to answer your comment there, I do have the Thrawn trilogy here in my room, which is Heir to the Empire, et cetera, et cetera. My friend got it for me as a early birthday present a couple
And-
years ago. I just haven't read it yet, but it is sitting here. I have all three parts of the trilogy: Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and what is it, The Last Command? It's all here. It's sitting
Yep.
right here on my shelf. So trust
Timothy
me when I
Zahn
tell
is
you.
Timothy Zahn is a damn good writer.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
a lot of people love the ground he
I
walks
can't
on.
fault him for that.
Last
Yeah.
Command is one of my favorites, and with that trilogy, I just feel each one gets better than the last. It's
Okay.
I love
Right over
you know,
here.
Heir of the Empire. Dark
on my
Force
shelf.
Rising gets even better, especially with
They're going to do a live action Admiral Thrawn,
hmm
and I'm
Well,
trying to
he's going to show up in Ahsoka in the series. Thrawn is going to show up.
I'm trying to remember the actor's name that's going to play him.
It's Lars Mikkelsen.
That's the one.
The
yeah.
brother to Mads Mikkelsen, who played Galen Erso
Yes.
in the greatest prequel Star Wars movie known as Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Sorry, the prequel trilogy never happened, but Rogue One happened, and it was glorious.
The sad thing is that Rogue One may be the best Star Wars movie to date.
That's fair because a lot of people like. For me, it's my number 2. For me, it's my number of all Star Wars movies. It's my number 2. My number 1. I know this is going to cause some controversy in the comments, but for me, my favorite. I'm not saying this is the. There are differences between someone's favorite movie and someone's best movie. All right. So for me, my favorite Star Wars movie is the more recent one, The Force Awakens from 2015, and then my second favorite is Rogue One. Because I love Rogue One. I think Rogue One is solid all the way through. And by the way, I do have the prequel novel known as Catalyst by James Luceno right here on my Star Wars shelf.
The one thing about Rogue One I really liked is it had a little bit of everything that was Star Wars.
And that third act was insane.
Yes.
The third act was absolute. Like, it's the war to end all wars on the beach. Like, that was war.
That was war.
You know?
Yes. Thank you.
That's what I wanted to see. And plus you get what do you call them? You get recalls or throwbacks to Gold Leader, Red Leader from the original movie.
Blue Leader.
Yeah, Blue Leader's in there. And I'm like, I've never heard of Blue Leader. This is new. But seeing all of it was like, oh my God.
But what's funny is, do you know why Luke was in Red Squadron with Red Leader? You know the story behind that? Lucas originally wrote it as Blue Leader. Luke was supposed to be Blue 5 in Blue Squadron.
Oh.
But the problem was the special effects were using blue screens.
Really?
You can't have blue striped fighters.
Oh, that's right.
And so that at the last minute they had to change everything to red just so they could use it on a blue screen.
Which is why the Blue Squadron gets destroyed. And
that's why and strangely enough, that's why they retconned it to Blue Squadron getting destroyed at the battle of what's that planet?
Scarif?
You mean the Battle of Scarif?
Scarif.
Scarif. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I was not. I think I may have heard that once before, but it's been a while. So it's nice and good to have a refresher course here in the studio. By the way, Chris Walker has some good stuff to bring up. He says Brian Daley's The Han Solo trilogy as well.
Yes, definitely.
Is that right?
Definitely.
Okay, because
if you watch carefully in the Han Solo prequel movie,
I'm sorry, but Solo Star Wars story was not that good.
There are callbacks to the Brian Daley trilogy in that.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. There is a lot of Han Solo
that's one of the
mythos that
things about
Han
Solo.
Well, if you want to know the truth, John and Dan, they did have the Han Solo trilogy at both McKay locations, so I could easily go back and spend what is left of my store credit, because I sold a lot of my stuff and I got a lot of store credit. Which, by the way, store credit is the best credit anyone can have. So I still have a decent. I have I have $20 left here, John. So hypothetically, I could go back there and get the Han Solo trilogy.
Now, I also highly recommend the Lando Calrissian trilogy by L. Neil Smith, because L. Neil Smith was one of the most fantastic writers ever. May he rest in peace.
Really?
And he wrote Aliens like you would not, just so perfectly.
Really? That good?
Oh, and his own stuff is even better. And also, there were in scenes with Lando, and I don't remember if it was the Han Solo story movie. There were callbacks to those books as well. So they were doing a deep dive into the good old days and pulling up stuff that became influential before the whole franchise got kicked into high gear as far as the movies were concerned.
No. By the way, Chris, you and I are going to have to agree to disagree on the qualities of those prequels. I'm sorry. Chris would also say he recommends the Wraith Squadron series as well. Okay. Wraith and Rogue Squadron, you say? Well, I do have. What is it called? Is it X-Wing Rogue Squadron book series? I have that. I have the first three.
Good night, Michaela.
Oh, gotta head to bed. Oh, nighty night, Michaela. We love you. Yes, you're good for you to respond, John. Even though you're on a show, but yet you're responding in the chat. That's well done.
Strangely enough, I actually have one of the YouTube pages that everybody's on.
Oh, I was wondering where your comment coming from.
It's the. Hang on a minute. It's
the
the
other one.
HallowCon's Stupid O'Clock page.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
That's the other one. I was thinking of something
Yep.
else. But Wraith and Rogue Squadron, huh? Okay. And then what was it, Chris? 9 books in that series? Are you talking about the Wraith and Rogue Squadron, the X-Wing? Because I have X-Wing 1, 2, and 3, which is X-Wing Rogue Squadron, and then X-Wing Wedge's Gamble, Wedge and Tilly's Gamble. Yeah.
Oh, I know something that he actually needs to watch.
Or read.
Well, this is
Or
more.
both.
of a-
It doesn't matter. I love Star Wars as all,
Kick you off of your own show.
Sorry.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm one of the few people or few Star Wars fans who has not bear witness to that horrible travesty known as the holiday special, because I've heard nothing but trash. So that kind of told me that, Ryan, you should avoid this like the plague. So I have chosen not to watch it.
All the more
If
reason.
you can imagine, a My Little Pony as an X-wing pilot,
Mm-hmm.
that's about how bad it was. Okay.
Hey, B. Arthur was okay.
Wait a minute, she was in that?
Hey,
Yeah, she was.
it
No
was
kidding.
the first appearance of Boba Fett. Also,
They did give us Boba Fett, yeah. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Chris was referring to, what was it? Maybe 10 or 9? Oh, yes, 4 novels in the first part of Rogue Squadron. All right, well, at least I got the first 3, Chris, because that's the beauty of shopping at McKay's bookstore. # not a sponsor. Although it could be tomorrow. I don't know. They might call me. If they call me and hire me, I could be that, because I applied to work there part-time, John. So
Art Carney, I'd forgotten that. Thank you, Chris.
Art Carney.
He was in the holiday special as well.
Oh, that's right.
And Dawn says the holiday special is absolutely canon.
But that doesn't mean that Ryan's going to watch it.
of
that
all the
doesn't mean that
things they
Ryan
took out of canon, why the hell did they have to leave that?
What? That doesn't mean I'm going to go.
Wait a minute. Harvey
Carney's got a good. Harvey Korman's got a good lawyer.
No.
Harvey Korman was in the holiday special.
Didn't they take that off Disney Plus, John? Didn't they take the holiday special off
I have
Disney
no
Plus?
clue.
I think they did.
That's-
Didn't they take it off, Joe?
I don't know if they.
I
ever
don't
put
know
it
that
on,
they ever put it
because
on.
I don't know if
I thought I
that
saw it
would
on there
be,
like a couple months ago.
That
It
thing
was
that
on
thing
there
was
around the
banned
holidays.
There is a
almost
link-
instantly
special.
after it was shown.
I had heard that George Lucas spent $200 million
Yeah,
to have
to
it completely
be banned.
eradicated from human history, and
Okay.
failed miserably because they're still.
Oh,
indicating
really? There's people recorded it on VHS. It's still out there.
It's still there. I haven't seen it. Oh, by the way, here's another thing. If someone does want to get their hands on a copy of something known as the Holiday Special of Star Wars, people do sell them at conventions at their booths. So there are, excuse me for saying this, ripped copies,
bootleg.
Bootleg. Thank you. There are bootleg copies of Star Wars, other things that are not necessarily available on what is it called, Disney Plus, right? And then Carl says you have to see it once, Ryan. You can find it on YouTube. Oh, that's great! So I can watch it for free on YouTube tomorrow morning after I'm done eating my 2 Lego Mayego waffles. So there you go.
Now Disney Plus has the Lego Holiday Special
Oh, that's
for Star
cool.
Wars.
I don't mind watching those.
So that's might be where you are creating the mental link there with
Space in my
Star
brain,
Wars
yeah.
Holiday Special. Yeah,
That's okay. I can always check that out later. But yeah, Carl says you can watch it on YouTube, the original Holiday Special. There you go.
Yeah. Ryan, it is very dated and 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was dated
I
in
heard
the
the
1970s.
Wookiees get a makeover in the Holiday Special. They look totally different.
Yeah, they don't look near. It's think Planet of the Apes. That's how bad it was.
think Wookiees in the trailer park,
Yes. I can picture that in my mind, Rich. Thank you.
because Grandpa Lumpy brings up a
God.
holographic.
Basically, no. I think I've got the definitive. Okay,
What is
think
it? Go
of
ahead.
Wookiees as if they were done by Sid and Marty Krofft.
Exactly.
Good one, Dan. Good one.
While
Okay.
drunk.
But
Actually, the entire special looks like it was done by Sid and Marty Krofft.
Sid and Marty
Mhm.
Krofft? Okay.
Yep. So Don't diss Sid and Marty Croft. Otherwise, John B. Pica will be after you.
Hey! I grew up with Sigma the Sea Monster. Okay.
Well, John
Oh
did.
Lord, yeah.
John
The
grew up.
I can take
I've seen everything that they ever made
Look at that.
because it was Saturday, and I was young, and
You know,
it was the only things on.
You know,
was watching.
Speaking of
exactly
our friend John B. Pica, Dan, you know, he talked about the series last weekend, the Challenge of the Super Friends.
I cheat.
Mhm.
Challenge of the Super Friends, and I went onto HBO Max and I started watching that particular season that features the Challenge of the Super Friends, which, by the way, is season 4, episodes 1 through whatever.
Yeah.
And after the first episode, I thought to myself, okay, I can deal with corniness because it is of its time. It was. But after the first episode, I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to watch the other 15 episodes of this. I don't know.
That's a natural reaction, actually.
When
I was a child, I had no choice. It was the only thing on.
You know, it was made in the 70s, and I'm thinking, okay, I like the animation, I like the colors, but the plots are like, you think it's over, Super Friends? Wait till you see this other trick I have up my sleeve. Luthor, no matter where you go, it's just like, okay, I can deal with corniness and cheesiness, but this is a little too much.
Rule of thumb:
Yeah.
if it was narrated by Ted Knight, was that his name?
Was it Ted Knight? Somewhere in the Hall of Justice, you know.
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry. I love his live action work. I love his narrations and I love his voiceover. But if you're watching a cartoon and he's the one narrating it, you might as well have a big bag of nachos because there's going to be lots of cheese involved. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'll watch episode 2 and 3 this weekend on HBO Max because the entire series is there. All 10 seasons of Super Friends is just sitting there, so you know, I can go back and watch it. But it's like, man, I was expecting this to be kind of cool, but at the same time, I knew it was going to be cornball. But man, is this, whew, a lot of cheese, way too much cornball in it. I don't know.
It was aimed at children in the 70s.
It was, but the narrator basically tells you the whole plot. It's like, why do I even need to watch the show? Because it's like, well, unbeknownst to Superman, he gets doused with the Dream Ray, and I'm like, okay, like I get it.
Because the 6-year-old might not.
It's all right. You're right.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought the toys.
Just because we had the advantage of having young adult logic at that time and adult logic now does not mean that the younger kids that were watching it
we are talking about kids that swear up and down they could understand what Lassie was saying when she barked. Okay.
Hey, did Tommy fall in the wall?
Excuse me. I saw that on first run. Yes, I could understand every word the dog said.
Lassie has some very saucy language.
Yeah. Really?
There should have been some bleeping going on.
Yeah, there should have been a lot of bleeping.
Over the course of that series? Okay.
Timmy, why are you down the well again, you stupid mother?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've actually seen reruns of Lassie because they had him on, what was it, TV Land or something like that? Like way back when. Maybe it was Nick at Night.
TV Land.
Maybe it was Nick at Night. I don't remember.
There was an Australian version of Lassie that featured a kangaroo.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
All right, Lassie. Now it's time to get herself a lager.
No. And every time the kangaroo had to come along and save somebody, they'd pick up a blade of grass and make a whistle out of it.
Maybe I should go back and watch reruns of Lassie then. I don't know. I'm sure you can find them on YouTube, right? Didn't somebody post like the whole series on YouTube at one point? Lassie, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
it would have been quite a few series, actually. Quite a few seasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I'll Google that tomorrow on YouTube. Maybe I'll watch some Lassie. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I remember watching reruns of that, and I remember watching 1 or 2 clips of the 90s live action movie that they did with whoever studio brought it up at the time. Was it Warner Brothers or was it MGM?
Not sure. Didn't pay any attention in the 90s because I was already working. So.
It was Paramount.
I remember Lassie's Rescue Rangers.
Which one?
Lassie's Rescue Rangers.
Now, I remember Chippendale Rescue Rangers on Disney Channel as a kid, but I don't remember this one.
This was a lot more before it. It was this family that had Lassie, and they were flying around in helicopters trying to save people. And it never failed. It was kind of like Space 1999. The helicopter kept crashing. So.
What is this, like a cheaper version of... Is this the dog version of Airwolf or something?
Sort of.
No, it would have been Blue Thunder, but not Airwolf.
Blue Thunder. Wasn't that Roy Scheider?
Yes, it was.
Speaking of Roy Scheider,
the prequel to
the thing,
the submarine thing. Yeah.
Oh, you mean to Sequest DSV?
Sequest, deeply stupid and depraved.
Okay, so I need to go back and watch Blue Thunder before I start watching Sequest.
Yes,
it would.
All right, does anyone know where
it.
Blue Thunder is streaming right now? Do we know where Blue Thunder is?
Probably YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Could be. Nobody knows.
Hang on a minute. I'll look.
All right, John's gonna Google it for me.
Yep. Oh. The thing that Chris said. Ridgely did an excellent job on Filmation's Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. Well, yeah. Filmation did a lot of really good stuff using the rotoscoping technique for the animation. They did several really, really excellent things. Of course, they also did some crap.
I like George of the Jungle.
I remember the Brendan Fraser movie.
That's earlier than Filmation, yeah.
Oh, Blue Thunder is on Crackle, which is free, says Rich. All right, thank you, Rich. Thank you. Blue Thunder's on Crackle.
Crackle, Freevee, and Pluto has a bunch of good old stuff too.
All right. Well, I guess
it must be 10 minutes to the end of the show.
It must be 15 minutes till the end of the yeah. Okay, up there. Okay, there we go. Exactly.
Oh, hey.
Of the show.
Hi.
Dawn just walked into the room. It's the dawn of a new era. What's up, Dawn?
No, this is the same old era. It's 10 minutes left.
Her Wonder Twin power activated, and the bucket of water finally got her over here.
Did you? I remember the Wonder Twins. Yeah.
Hated that damn bucket of water.
And I cannot find Blue Thunder for 3.
Well, it is on Crackle.
On YouTube.
It is on Crackle, which is free, says Rich. So we're good. We have it. We know where it is, right, Rich? We got it.
Yeah. Crackle also has Greatest American Hero.
Hey! Hey! See, Rich, now I know what I'm doing.
The only show whose hero had his name changed because some idiot tried to kill the president.
And then in season 2, actually,
went right back to the original name because people figured out we don't care.
I guess I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Hinkley, Hanley, Hinkley.
Yeah, really.
So I guess my main objective this weekend are to apply for some new jobs and then start watching Blue Thunder and some other stuff.
Oh, and I've got a new story over on Apelian for free if you've got like 5 minutes to read.
What's it called again? Or what's the thing?
Old Dan.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's written in Appalachian dialect, which is why I asked you if you had any trouble with the locals' accents now.
Well, maybe I do. I don't know.
David Drake wrote the Hammer Slammer series.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And a lot of other good stuff, too.
And a lot of other good stuff. In one of his anthologies, he wrote an Appalachian kind of story about this guy who he was in the Revolutionary War. He fought at Kings Mountain, and he got shot in the crotch.
That's something I didn't need to put in my head. But anyway.
And
it happens.
Basically,
war.
he was emasculated. But he survived it.
Oh.
And because he had been emasculated, he started having visions. He became a wizard.
I think I've got a collection with some of those.
In post-Revolutionary War, Tennessee and that area. And it's interesting. And the one story I remember was that it was called The Bullhead by David Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's one of those, it's funny and somewhat mystical and very country, but it's a hilarious story. So if you ever get a chance, read some of that sort of stuff.
I'm gonna be so you know what? I'm gonna be so busy going back to McKay's to get all these books that all these panelists.
You'll have
suggesting.
trouble finding that one. It's a short story. I don't know if they ever put it in any.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, it is in a collection.
Yes.
And I can't remember the title of it. And I don't
Me
have
neither.
time to go scroll through 11,000 damn paperback books to find it.
I think I've got it somewhere though. Strangely enough,
it had like five different writers who had written these almost Lovecraftian Appalachian magic-based stories.
I believe that's one. The one I was reading was it was a collection of David Drake short stories. So
okay, that would not be the one that I've got then, because the one that I've got's got several other writers in it as well, and some of them go back to the 20s.
And thank you for the birthday wishes, Chris.
Yeah, it's good that John is 21 again.
Y'all were talking about Blue Thunder.
Yeah, with Roy Scheider.
So I went to YouTube. You know, there was a Blue Thunder TV series.
Yes.
Yep.
Who was in the series?
It wasn't Roy Scheider. Yeah.
It was James Ferrantino, Dick Butkus, Bubba Smith.
Oh, Bubba Smith was.
and a very, very young Dana Carvey.
Wow, Dana Carvey.
It was up in direct competition with the
Airwolf
TV series.
Yeah.
Airwolf, that's right.
Yeah,
and basically it was
football
Knight
players.
Rider in a helicopter.
Yeah, the two football players played the maintenance guys that
the
took care of
maintenance
the helicopter. So they were the comedy relief.
You might as well just throw me into McKay's bookstore. And
You broke the helicopter again?
Yeah,
too many
And
books.
I ought to punch you.
Dana Carvey was playing the straight role.
Yeah.
Oh, he was playing the straight man in this one?
Yes.
Wow.
That
I'm not
must have been a
seeing that.
stretch of his talents.
I've never seen him do that. I'm gonna have to look this up on the interwebs. Man, I got too much to do this weekend with all this stuff, honestly. And you guys just threw another 6 or 7 books at me that I need to read from
Well,
start.
you come in here and you expect us to not give you an
really.
overload of homework. I mean, seriously.
I know.
This is a perfect representation of the online presence, the group mind. And hey, we don't know everything, but we know a lot about some things.
Dana Carvey played Jaffo. Played Clinton, Jaffo, Wonderlove.
Mm-hmm.
Jaffo, you remember what Jaffo was in the Blue Thunder series? Just another fucking observer.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Boy, I got to tell you, I've been gone for so many months, but I walk back in here and I'm learning so many new things about this crazy mixed world that we're living in, specifically pop culture history and what books I should be reading.
Welcome home again.
You're familiar with Barney Miller, the TV show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
The Blue Thunder TV series was almost like they took all the actors from Barney Miller and added a helicopter.
Oh God!
Sorry, Rich. It'll take all kinds of brain bleach to get rid of that one.
I think Rich is. What am I trying to say here? He's regretting coming on the show and hearing all these negative things.
Oh no!
I can just see Fish going. Put the copter down. I've got to go to the bathroom again.
Oh goodness! But on a serious note,
Inspector Luger, narcotics.
On a serious note, it was
diuretics.
It was great to be here and see all you guys, because it's been forever since we've all been together. And man, a lot of things have transpired in my life, but you know what? I'm just taking it day by day, brothers and sisters.
Hey, Ryan, before we get out of here tonight, in case I don't get a chance to say it again, good luck on the job hunt.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm glad North Carolina. Did you know that Tennessee used to be part of North Carolina?
No.
Long time ago, North Carolina used to go all the way to the Mississippi River.
Is that right? Wow.
Yes. And somewhere down the line, well, strangely enough, the Vanderbilts. The
yes.
family.
Oh, yes.
They bought a big chunk of land up in the Smoky Mountain area.
Mm-hmm.
And their property line eventually became the boundary between North Carolina and Tennessee, and they said North Carolina's too damn big, so they basically broke off another state and made Tennessee.
Mind.
And so technically we're neighbors, you know.
Well, it's good to know that I'm not too far from you guys now. But if you ever want to come down here for a visit, feel free. And if you guys want me to come visit you, just send me your address, and I'll try to get myself up there.
We've got to get you at HallowCon. That's all I'm going to say. I'll leave that to Joe.
While I was doing some quick research,
Sure.
you know, we had, you know, Airwolf and Blue Thunder,
Yes.
which was like Knight Rider. There was one more.
Highwayman.
No,
What?
It wasn't Highwayman?
Street Hawk.
Street Hawk was the motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Highwayman, you forgot
Okay, Rich.
Highwayman.
I never heard of Street Hawk, Joe Dog.
It was
Yeah,
kind of like
it
Knight Rider,
was-
but with a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Ooh. I
And
might want to
if-
watch
if
that.
you- all the actors that were in it are famous sci-fi actors.
Because I love
And-
Knight Rider.
Again,
Street
make sure you
Hawk
got a big
wasn't
pile of
bad.
nachos so that you got, you know,
Big pile of
something to put the
nachos
cheese
there,
on.
Rich?
So you got something to put the cheese on.
Okay. I'll have to text
Street
that.
Hawk wasn't bad, but I mean, it was just like, it was from a scientific viewpoint. It's like
Okay.
a motorcycle, really? I mean, you know, it's like, you know,
And Chris just gave you one more to read, Ryan.
Oh, great. He says, I forgot about The Courtship of Princess Leia by Dave Wolverton. You know what, Chris? Just
Wolverton.
text me. Just text me the list, honestly. Because I've heard so much tonight. My mind's going to go blank by the time I hit the sack tonight. So just text it to me.
Star Wars.
Now, wait a minute. Courtship of Princess
Princess
Leia.
Leia by Dave
Did they steal that from the courtship of Eddie's father? I mean,
I was
You had to
wondering.
go there.
Star Wars could have been a completely different universe if Lando Calrissian was a little bit more charismatic and had married Princess Leia. Okay.
Yeah, maybe I should read the Lando Calrissian trilogy that Dan was talking about earlier.
oh yes, you should. Yes, you should. I highly recommend it, even though it only shows up in canon as references in backstory stuff.
Touche.
And but no, you should read anything you find by L. Neil Smith. Anything at all. If you see his name on the spine of a book, buy it.
Okay, L. Neil Smith.
And all right, we got to cut it so Dan can start his show on time. So let's say,
Hold 2 minutes.
Yeah, it takes that long to run the credits.
yeah.
It takes 4 minutes on the credits.
All right, let's time say good night, everybody.
Thanks for having
Ryan,
me, guys.
thank you
Good
again.
to see you all. Enjoy your
Zach,
week.
get down
And just remember, this is the way.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night,
We're
Good night,
coming.
everyone.
Good night.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.
Did not get away with it. Fuck, 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 fuck.